Hello, whiskey hunters. Welcome to the linen closet. Thanks for joining me again today. And before I talk about my hunting endeavor, I want to mention that I've got a Facebook group. We're all whiskey addicts. And, you know, I got a little hate the other day when I mentioned that I found 10 bottles. I'm actually waiting for them to arrive, and an unbelievable deal, and I'll show you maybe in the next video if they get in time, or the video after that. But I got some slack because they thought it was bragging that I hunted and found some bottles, and that there were no bottles to be found, that there was a group that found all the bottles to be had worth anything years ago, and I shouldn't be wasting my time or mentioning it. And you know, I'm just a working guy, right? And a whiskey lover, and I like hunting bottles. Yeah, they may not be $5,000 bottles, but they're special to me, especially when you can't find them and they're old. And you know, I'm an average guy like most of you guys and gals out there, and I get excited when I find something that's not there every day. So I don't know if this person was a renowned collector, aficionado, store owner, I don't know, but it's fun to me and I enjoy it, and it's like a treasure hunt, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that like that too. So screw the haters. Anyway, I want to mention a couple things. There's a couple tools that I use, so to speak, that I always have handy for my whiskey bottles, and I want to share that with you. I'm going to put a link to where I get them on Amazon below, in case you're interested in getting them. So one of the tools I have is known as a bartender's friend. It's also called a Le Creuset corkscrew, and this is what it looks like. And this comes off. Oh, there we go. And so it's just a pronged corkscrew. You can see one side is a little longer than the other. And why do I have this? I rarely ever use it. Well, have you ever had an old bottle, or maybe a bottle that wasn't stored right? Some liquor stores, even spirit stores, lay whiskey bottles down. They don't know any better sometimes, and we do that. We know that the high ABV is going to destroy the cork. It's not like wine at that lower ABV. It is detrimental to a cork to lay a whiskey bottle on its side. Always stand them upright. Never lay them on their side. So sometimes on an older bottle, you go to remove that cork and it just breaks off. Or you've had the bottle and you've opened it one too many times and it's just a faulty cork and it breaks in the top of the bottle. What do? You know, you try to get it out and the thing breaks apart and falls into your whiskey. That's no good, because now you got tons of little bits of cork in your whiskey, and you've got to get a coffee filter and strain it into another bottle and decant it. If you use a regular corkscrew, chances are you're going to push it down into the bottle of whiskey. Well, the bartender's friend, by working the one longer prong in first, you get the second one in between the cork and the bottle, and they slide in. Once it slides in and you work it down, you can pull that cork right out. This will save you, for that one time that cork breaks off, you're going to wish you had this. This is under $10. You may be able to even find this in a general liquor store, not even a high-end store, for it hanging for $6.95. Something I recommend you just stick away. Should that ever happen to you, you'll have that to help you out in that situation. Le Creuset, the bartender's friend. The other thing is, I typically like to let my bottles sit out for or oxidize once they're open for a while. I find that, as I mentioned before, they get much better after a few weeks, and sometimes after a few months or longer. An Aberlour 18 I reviewed after a year was better than the day I opened it. So this is, I use this on all my bottles. Once I see they're at the point that I like it, I gas it. And what I mean by that is I use this product called Wine Preserver. Put that a little closer for you. What this is an argon gas that's non-toxic, tasteless, and it's medical grade. It's used in wines a lot. Of course, wines don't stay long anyway, unlike whiskey. And it's very light. It feels like there's nothing in it because, of course, it's a gas. There's 120, and you can see there's, by the way, an attachment here that you just, let me show you here. That attaches like that. You just want to put it into the bottle, give it a couple blasts, don't put it into the juice, and 2 presses, and it coats, it blankets the whiskey with an argon gas. And therefore, the air that comes into the bottle, instead of oxidizing the whiskey anymore, it hits the gas and the juice stays the same. It will preserve and keep the taste of your whiskey until you use it next. And then after you take a dram or 2 and you're putting the bottle away, gas it again. I gas all my bottles with this, every single one that's open, and I've never had a bottle go bad. And I've had bottles open for a couple years, a number of them. So those are my 2 tools. There'll be a link below. Hunting. You know, sometimes it's not just you going into the whiskey stores or searching Craigslist or searching the internet. Sometimes it's through networking, and it's through friends, and even friends that may not be whiskey enthusiasts or enthusiasts of any spirit. They just know maybe you have this hobby that you enjoy whiskey and you like to hunt. You share that with them. You tell them, let them know that this is the kind of things I'm interested in, and maybe some names. And now and then you may find that they come across something for you, like a friend of mine did that lives out of the area from me. And he called me from a store, and it was like a grocery kind of store, general store, not a liquor store. And he had found some bottles, or they were in boxes, that seemed older to him. So he called me and sent me a picture, because you can do that now with smartphones. Really helps. Call somebody, send them a picture, ask them to send it to you. You can look at it right then and there and tell them, buy that for me. And that's what I did. So actually, he found 2 of these. Malt Trust is a great independent bottler. I have some other malt trusts that I will share with you. But if you check the date out on that, you can see that this was bottled in 2008, barreled in 1979, a Caol Ila, 28-year-old Caol Ila. He actually found 2 of these for me. I'm going to share with you the price. Beautiful, non-chill filtered, no color added. Malt Trust always has that dolphin on it, easily recognizable. I've never seen this bottle before, or Caol Ila this old before. So I immediately, of course, told him to buy it. He did, and I'm fortunate to have 2 of them. Thank you so much, my friend. This is, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we found these. They ran me about $175 each. I felt that was a great deal. I didn't really know the value, didn't have time to research it, but 28-year-old Caol Ila for $175, I had to have it. Like I say, you regret what you don't buy, not what you do. So those got added to my collection. I'm going to do a review for you here. Quick review so I can get out of here and let you folks go. I have open today, you can see the beautiful dram here. It's a gorgeous dark amber. This is a Yamazaki 18-year-old. This is made by Suntory. That may sound familiar to you. You may remember hearing it by Bill Murray in the movie Lost in Translation, where they were having him do a commercial for Suntory, and everyone spoke Japanese, and it's a pretty funny scene. But check it out on YouTube. I'm sure you can find a clip of it, Lost in Translation. Suntory's the biggest whiskey maker in Japan. They won at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. They won Best in Show, double gold for 2015. They also won gold in 2013. And then the Yamazaki 18 went crazy in price, and then the 12 followed suit recently. In the last year, the 12 is ridiculous. You can barely find them on shelves anymore. When the Yamazaki first came out, it was $70 a bottle. Now, if you can find it in a store, they're going to charge you $350 or $400 or maybe even up to $500 if you can find it. It's just crazy, and that's what happens when you win Whiskey of the Year. So, fortunately, I have a few bottles of Yamazaki 18 that I got before the craze at the time I thought was a lot at $129. Let's nose this. You know, straight off you get sherry, of course. This is this whiskey is made from ex-bourbon casks, ex-sherry casks. Wow. And Mizunara, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Mizunara cask. That's Japanese oak. Japanese oak is soft and gives you a sweet, nutty quality of that cask. The majority of it is sherry casks. So you get vanilla from that oak, a sweet vanilla. It's almost heady. In other words, it's heavy jam kind of quality to the nose. You can, I didn't actually check the legs, but you can tell it's thick and viscous. There's malt. It's 100% malted barley mash, so you're going to get a lot of malt from it. There's sweet oak from the Japanese oak casks, the Mizunara casks. There's fruit. It's soft. It's sherry strong, but it's a lot softer than other sherry forward whiskeys. It's very balanced nose. You know, the oak is kind of reminiscent of camping. And one of the things when I go camping and have gone camping through my life is getting up really early in the morning before anybody else does and brewing some coffee where it's just quiet, no one else is around, no one's talking, and you can just sit there and reflect. This is like the early morning, having a cup of coffee, but having a Yamazaki 18 whiskey and the smell of the sweet oak of the woods around you. This is what that's reminiscent of. There's also some light spice that, again, I associate to the oak casks of a nuttiness, kind of like nutmeg and cloves. Very nice. Onto the palate. It's very oily. It coats your mouth. It gives you a tingle. You can get that immediately, the vanilla from the sweet vanilla from the Japanese oak comes through. The sherry's there, but it's immediately a dark sherry, dark chocolate covered cherries, raisins. Going for another taste. Always make sure you coat your entire mouth with the juice. Under your tongue, over your tongue, back of your tongue, your cheeks. There's dried fruits, apricots, peaches, dried pears, apples, again from the oak casks. There is it's sweet, a honey kind of sweetness, walnuts, blackberries, cherries, dark cherries. When you pick cherries or you buy cherries at the fruit stand and you get those darker Bing cherries even that you bite into it and they're really deep purple inside, a darker juice, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Oh, it's why it won Whiskey of the Year. It is really good. Is it $500 good? It's pretty damn good, but I have trouble pulling $500, paying $500 for anything. So, but it's really good. If you can find a bottle and hunt a bottle, which is almost impossible, do it. The finish is long. The sweetness, the oaky sweet taste is left there. It's the smoothness. There's no burn. Great, great whiskey. I'd give it a Whiskey Hunter rating of 93 out of 100. That's it for the Whiskey Hunter today. Please subscribe, like, and share. As I said, I scored a 10 bottle score that's being shipped to me, not from a store, from a private person. It's pretty amazing. There are hunts to be had out there. You have to be diligent. You have to put the word out. You have to look. Just continue looking and you will find your treasure. Thanks for joining me. Take care.